Today's gonna be a great day. Today's gonna be a great day.
Indeed. All right, friends, let's get things going.
Today's gonna be a great
Nailed it.
Good evening, District 40 Toastmasters and friends. Welcome to our October podcast episode. My name is Althea, and joining me this evening is my fellow co hosts. We got Lamar, we got Sydney, and Angela, and we are so excited to have you all join us this evening for our episode. How have you guys been since the last time we connected?
wonderful. It has been
Awesome.
beautiful. The weather got out and did a
Mhm.
half marathon for the first time
Oh,
yesterday, or I should say Sunday
nice.
out there. So
Yeah.
the mental was fantastic. The physical,
Mm.
the knees were on fire. But definitely grateful for the opportunity to be
Yeah,
able to get through with the first half marathon for sure.
that's pretty awesome. Like, what was your preparation like for that?
Nothing.
Wait, you didn't prepare for
Nothing.
it?
No, no, not
Oh,
a half
whatever.
marathon.
Did you walk or
Seriously,
did you
Angela,
run? Like, what?
I between walking and running.
Wow.
Okay, so you want to know the real
Yeah.
deal is I finished next. I was next to last in my
Okay.
category. And the
Okay.
real deal was I didn't even care. The real deal for me was I just wanted to finish. I felt if I
Right.
would have did a lot of preparation, Angela, I would have tried to talk myself out of it. And it would have
Mm,
came time for me to do it, and then Sydney, I would have been like, "Oh no, my knee, I don't want to do it." So I said, you know what?
right.
I'm not going to give myself any excuses or any outs out there. I said I'm going to definitely go ahead and get this done. So that's what we did.
I can
Well,
vibe with that, Lamar. For me, it
that's
Yeah.
was
pretty
for
amazing.
me this past probably a few weeks ago. Finished my master's
Hmm.
degree, and it felt like just it felt like I just had the same attitude. I didn't bother doing research. I mean, I picked a
So
program obviously, but beyond that, I just jumped in and crashed on a class, slaughtered it, took out another class. I was like John Wick, boop, 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 boop. And
mhm.
and it went down. It went down hard, folks. It
Man.
was
That's
wonderful.
wonderful, man.
Well,
But
Congrats
congratulations.
on that,
yeah,
man. That's
That is
huge.
so
that's
awesome.
you, sir.
Good for you.
Yeah. How about things with you, Angela? How have you been?
Oh, I don't know what I went to a comedy show the other weekend at a casino. We played Baccarat for the first time, so that was
Okay.
pretty cool. I mean, that was a milestone. But like a half marathon or getting your master's degree, it's equally as impressive. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I love that.
That's all I got. How about you, Healthy? Looking
Things
forward to
have
Halloween.
Yeah, things have been pretty busy for me on the professional side, but just excited to just be with you all this evening and to get things started with the podcast. So, as we always love to do during our episodes, is we like to share with you our mission statement. And the mission statement for our podcast is to educate and to entertain our listeners and viewers by providing a positive and supportive experience to help our listeners and viewers develop stronger communication and leadership skills. I also want to introduce the word of the day. And our word of the day is eloquent. And the definition is fluent or persuasive in speaking or writing, having the power of clear, effective, and forceful expression. And an example of how to utilize this word in a sentence is her eloquent speech captivated the audience, leaving them both inspired and moved. So anyone taking the speaking platform this evening is encouraged to utilize the word of the day. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn things over to Lamar to start off our interview segment.
Well, thank you out there. I appreciate that. Well, definitely looking forward to an eloquent time with our guest speakers. Folks, we have two guest speakers. So this is the first time that we've done this, right? Where we've had two people at the same time. So
Mhm.
this ought to be fun. So definitely, we're giving you not just two ordinary Toastmasters, folks. We are giving you two district directors here that's going to be present. So I'm really excited about that. And what I'm going to do is actually hop right on into their bios and tell you more about who we have here currently. So we do have Kelly O'Keefe in the building. So Kelly O'Keefe started Toastmasters in 2007 in a corporate club at LexisNexis. Kelly was volunteered. Okay, we know what that's like, Kelly. To join Toastmasters by her manager to build her confidence when speaking with customers and colleagues.
Mhm.
During her 15 years with that club, Kelly held almost all club officer roles, folks, and completed her CC, CL, ALB, ACB. Just go ahead and Google all of those and the innovative planning path and pathways. Since retiring from LexisNexis in 2022, whoop whoop, Kelly has joined two other clubs, the Advance Club Dayton Top Mentors and Springboro Toastmasters. Kelly served as an area one director or area director from 2022 until 2023. And then she was the assistant area director and assistant division A director under that handsome gentleman, Sydney, for 2023 and 2024. Kelly currently serves as the Vice President of Education for Dayton Top Mentors and Division A Director. Kelly stays in Toastmasters for the chance to learn and grow with other growth oriented Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Kelly O'Keefe.
Woo!
Absolutely. And
Yes.
join with Kelly O'Keefe is none other than Betsy Irving. Now,
Yay.
Betsy Irving has been a Toastmaster since 2016. Betsy is as well the Vice President of Education for Right Way Toastmasters and Vice President of Public Relations for Springboro Toastmasters. There's something going on over there in Springboro, it sounds like. Both in Division A. Division D. Betsy joined, Springboro Toastmasters in Division A. There we go.
Yep. Yep.
Betsy joined TV Toastmaster earlier this year and now is VP PR for that club. Her term as Division D director started on July 1st. Other accomplishments include being area director, representing a distinguished area 2021
All
2022,
right. Awesome.
club president of 2021 2022, and leading the audio visual committee for the 2024 district conference. Betsy is an engineer at Patterson Air Force Base, Wright Patterson Air Force Museum,
Mhm.
and an adjunct professor at the University of Dayton. She is married and has two sons. Folks, let's give a warm welcome to Betsy Irving.
Yay.
Thank you,
All
ladies.
right. Yeah, we're so excited to be joined by you today. So, our word of the day is eloquent, just putting it out there for you all again. And wanted to just really start with you, Betsy. and I see that you've been a part of Toastmasters since 2016. And just really curious, Betsy, I want to ask you, what made you want to step up into the role as division director for Division D for this Toastmasters year?
To say that I was pressured by Tracy Baker and
Shout out Tracy Baker.
Mike McCoy. I think that's his name, Mike.
Mhm.
And they were both coming at me when I was doing a tour of the hotel where we had the conference.
Mhm.
And finally, I really wanted to work on my DTM and just focus on my DTM. But they talked me into taking a turn and being a Division A director. And then they said, no, we want you to be a Division D director. So that's how I got to be a Division D director.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was reading Kelly's bio. I was reading your bio earlier today, and you had actually it was a quotation mark for volunteer. There's something about it's like this voluntold ordeal that you experience right within Toastmasters, right? It's like you get this push. It's like you're not sure if you're ready. Because I know for me, Betsy, Wendy was responsible for pushing me to become area director last year and then become a division director this year because I didn't have any intentions on being division director. And in fact, she asked me, Kelly, and I was like, you know what? Maybe. Like it was really like so far in the back of my mind. So for you, Kelly, what was it for you? Because you served in various roles within Toastmasters and completing various projects and things of that nature. So, what was it for you? I know you served under Sydney as an assistant director. So, what was it that made you go ahead and make the decision to go ahead and become a division director?
Tracy Baker.
TB, let's go.
Kind of asked me. I mean, he's asked me before, and other people have asked me, and I said, no, I don't really want to do that. And but I really think there probably is I don't really have too much of an excuse to not do it this time because I served under Sydney. I kind of learned it, and because I took my early retirement, I didn't want to just sit and watch TV all day. So I thought I really should use this time to serve. And I do believe in Toastmasters. And I did kind of say that, well, if Betsy takes Division D, I'll do Division A. So it's nice to have a friend. I consider Betsy a friend. So it's nice to have friends that are doing it with you so you don't feel like you're all by yourself. And I don't feel like that in Toastmasters. There's a lot of people that are willing to help you and support you.
That is, yes, hearts all around. Very eloquent, very well said, very apropos to this whole Toastmasters experience is that you are not alone. And I really hear that and I see that and I sense that since joining Toastmasters myself. And there were times where I felt like, I could just go off and do this by myself. And then there's always somebody pulling, like, do you need help with that? Do you need help with that? Even at the event where I just saw you this past weekend out there at the 100-year celebration at Grove City, when we were done, there were a couple people that came over to me and said, do you need help with the contest? Do you need help with the contest? So, Kelly, to your point, it's such a beautiful thing. And then, especially you and Betsy being friends, this is it's wonderful to do this kind of thing with friends. So, definitely shouts out to both of you for cultivating that relationship and really showing us what Toastmasters is truly all about. And now I want to give the floor to Angela to go further into depth about asking you all some more questions. So please, I yield it to Angela.
Thank you, Lamar. That was so eloquently said. I just think that's so cool that you guys are friends and you have a relationship and you get to do this together. And yes, you never feel like you're alone in Toastmasters, and that's so cool. And also, not only like if you guys were friends before, but Toastmasters helps you create those relationships and everything. But one thing I kind of wanted to know, I would have all of you here for real, is just like what are the different responsibilities between the area director and the division director position? Anybody?
I guess I'll take it.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So the one thing that's been kind of a challenge a little bit is going from being a doer type person to leading other people and having other people do that. So with my experience as an area director, you're the first line with the clubs, you're visiting the clubs, you're educating the clubs, and you're going out and just basically your responsibilities are visiting the clubs, doing the area visit reports, and then just being a resource for the clubs. And then as a division, and you had area council meetings too. And then at the division level, you just have more responsibilities for more clubs. So you have the different areas below you, but there's a little bit more involved. You have to do the budget. You have a concur account, so you would handle expenses. And you just have a bigger team that you're managing, and it's not just how you perform, but how other people on your team perform. So it's a little bit of adjustment to just doing things yourself versus delegating to other people and being a resource for the area directors as they do their jobs.
Thanks. Betsy, I really want to hear about this audiovisual thing that you had to do for the conference. What all does that entail?
Well, when you have a conference, you have the really big room. Have you been to one of the conferences?
Yeah, I just went to my first one this year.
You have the big room where the different speakers come and the speech contests are in. And so you have to have audio visual that everybody can hear in the room and they can see the slides. And then they also have educational rooms. So you have to make sure there's something there in case they want to do slides. And we didn't have to worry as much about sound because those were smaller rooms, but we had to get all that equipment. And then it turns out the division has a lot of this equipment stored in a room somewhere in Columbus. I'm not sure where, and there's one guy that takes care of it all. So I was trying to get information from the people that did the audiovisual in Cincinnati, and they said, "Oh, we couldn't find this, so we just bought this, and where we rented it." And then Tony Randall went to the place in Columbus and said, "Look at all the stuff we have." So it turns out we had everything we needed in Columbus, but we had someone go and get it, and we set it all up and we practiced, and it all worked out pretty good. And I'm doing it again for Kentucky for the Gallop to Glory conference.
Awesome. And that is the Lexington?
Yes.
Awesome. That's closer to me, a little bit closer, but I guess further away for all of you guys. Sorry. But okay, Sydney, do you have any questions for our lovely ladies here?
Indeed, I do. Angela, thank you. My question for the both of you, as soon as I can get this notification away, is Kelly and Betsy, what do you love most about Toastmasters? And I'm not asking this because, oh, we love Toastmasters. This is a District 40 podcast. Of course we love Toastmasters. No, I'm not fanboying the organization. I want to know from the heart and from your personal experience, what do you enjoy most about your experience, but particularly as newly minted district leaders?
I'll go. So I'm sure most people say that, but I really love the people in Toastmasters. Everybody is so growth oriented and service oriented. So that is why I love Toastmasters. And just a little story that goes along with that. I mean, I've met some awesome friends in Toastmasters. I mean, it's kind of a sad story, but one lady I met in Toastmasters, I met with my corporate club and we hung out together and we got to be friends. And then unfortunately, as she was, passing from cancer, I took her cat. So I thought, well, I always have a little piece of Toastmasters with me. And I reconnected with one lady from Toastmasters. She was in my club at the when I was in the corporate club. I've known her since 2006, and she was originally born in China. So I learned a lot about that culture. And she was just so incredible and inspiring. She wrote a book, she had all these patents, and she was really encouraging. And I got her to join, even though she now lives in Pennsylvania, I got her to join my advanced club, Dayton Top Mentors.
Nice.
And so we reconnected. And now, before we have our speeches, we practice with each other. And so I've learned some things from her, and she's learned some things from me. So I think just being around all these awesome people and just being able to try things without too much judgment, without, kind of in a safe environment, and just being able to use the skills. Like I like writing songs, I like writing lyrics, like Weird Al type stuff. So where else can I write songs about Toastmasters and sing them, except in Toastmasters? So it's just been kind of fun to do different things and hang out with awesome people.
Thank you for that. What about you, Betsy?
Well, I have a couple things. One is it did help me with my job. I think I'm more confident speaking where I work, and I've been given more responsibility, and I like keeping busy and having things to do. So I really like that, and I have respect. And then also, like Kelly, I like the people. I'm in 3 different clubs, and also I'm as the division director, I interact with a lot of different people in Cincinnati, and I really enjoy getting to meet new people and develop relationships with people I've known for quite a while. And finally, I like the challenge of the different activities, the trying to work on a DTM, trying to get to level 5 and so on. So I like the challenge, and I enjoy working with people and helping people too. As the VPE, you help people a lot, and I enjoy that.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam Division Directors. I will pass it to Althea. Althea, do you have any questions for our guests?
I do. But before I do that, Angela, I want you to read the room, my friend. All of us have served as division directors. We have Lamar, we have Kelly, we have Betsy, who are currently serving. Sydney and I have both served previously, so the writing's on the wall, my friend.
Did John put you up to the?
I'm
No,
destined to become a podcaster.
that wasn't on her bingo card, Betsy, and look where she is now.
Here we go.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
all I'm
baby.
saying is that we've all been voluntold. I got to sit in my seat because someone asked me to step up. So just keep that in mind, that someone may ask you to step up in the future. But my question is for you, Betsy. During your tenure as a division director, what are you hoping to accomplish during this program year?
Well, I'd like to help the clubs that are weak. That's kind of my main concern, the clubs that are weaker. And I am happy that they are making some progress, like the Fifth Third on campus. They were really going great guns last year. They got a lot of awards, but then this year they didn't enroll, they didn't pay their dues, and they didn't do their training. So something happened, but now they're sort of waking up and thinking about changing their name and making some progress. So I'm looking for things like that with some of the other weaker clubs. Those are my goals, and also get through the different activities, the TLIs and the club contests and the area contests and the division contests.
Yes. so many different things. Yeah, and that's a great point. There's a lot of activities that are happening throughout these different divisions. So being able to support your clubs and provide them the resources is going to be crucial to their success. So I know you'll be able to help them accomplish those goals, Betsy. So I wish you the best with that. Um, Kelly, so I was sitting here laughing when you were talking about you're a songwriter, and I actually got to witness that this spring during our spring conference. And I got to sit in on one of your presentations and learn about an organization I wasn't familiar with. So I wanted to use this opportunity for those that may not have been in the room for you to share with them some information about Recovery International. Tell us about that organization.
Thank you. I always love talking about that. So that's my other organization that I'm passionate about. It's a self-help mental health organization, and it's been around almost as long as Toastmasters, since 1937. And it was founded by Dr. Abraham Lowe. He was a neuropsychiatrist, and he was one of the founders of cognitive behavioral therapy. So changing your behavior and changing your thoughts. So he came up with this program actually to help people that are coming out of mental hospitals at the time. But now it's just for anybody in the world who just wants to work on dealing with the stresses of everyday life. I mean, you don't have to have any diagnosis to attend. We have peer-led meetings, and what we do during our meetings is we go through these 4-step examples. So when you have a stressful event that you are dealing with, like let's say it's a Toastmaster thing, like you're planning a contest, you think and something happens that's maybe a computer doesn't work, you would say, well, what's the event? Well, the event was that, I couldn't get the Zoom to work, and then the next step, what were your symptoms? So you would say, well, I was angry at the technology. I was mad at myself for not being prepared. I just thought, well, I'm just going to quit this whole thing. What are your impulses? And then the next step is you identify where you're judging either yourself or another person or the situation wrong. And then what tools can you use? And the tools are just statements that you tell yourself. So you could say, well, try, fail, try, succeed. I could try something else to get this thing to work. And a big part is endorsement. Pat yourself on the back for the effort and not the result. So I use that all the time with Toastmasters. So there's always going to be challenges. Things aren't going to go your way. I don't know what that song is. And so that's an example of something like that's noise in the background. But a big part is endorsing for the effort and not the result. Because this job can be, as you all know, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And so just to pat yourself on the back for each effort. So I've been a leader in that group for about 15 years. And I use it with Toastmasters. So the two groups work together.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So I got the event, the symptom, who or what are you judging, the tools that you use, and the last part I love, endorsement for the effort, not the result. So remember that. Yes, perfect.
Can
Angela,
I
go for it.
a website or anything we can plug?
Yeah, resource.
International.org.
I'm sorry, one more time.
recoveryinternational.org. It's a nonprofit.
That's awesome. Well, Betsy and Kelly, thank you all so much for being with us this evening. I hope you guys had fun on the podcast. We had a great time interviewing you, and we wish you, and Lamar, don't want to leave you out of there, Lamar, too, because you're a part of this team as well. But I want to wish you all the best of luck during this program year. There's a lot of important work to do, and Toastmasters is the best place. I always say the best place to fail your way to success. This is the breathing ground for that. And you guys are doing incredible work within your respective divisions. I just want to congratulate you in advance for all the great things you'll be doing and be watching. And best of luck to you.
You.
Yeah.
for your
Thank you.
eloquence tonight. It
Thank
was
you
great
guys.
to be here.
Yes. So take care. You guys have a great evening.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Great
All
segment.
right, great.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome.
All right, now let's move right along, and I want to kick things over to the wonderful Sydney for our next segment, and that is what we learn.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mr. King. Fellow co-hosts and guests, this segment of What We Learned is a highlight of things we have learned either at large or personally
Mhm.
in our lives or in Toastmasters or anything that is tangential that looks pretty cool. And I believe, Althea, you have something really cool to show us about something relating to Toastmasters I can't quite pronounce even.
Yeah, so thank you, Sydney. So this weekend, like Lamar mentioned earlier, we were at the centennial celebration that our district had in Grove City over the weekend. So great opportunity to connect with Toastmasters. So those of you that weren't there, you missed a great time. But during the event, there was like a table topics segment where we got to learn some tidbits about Toastmasters. I believe in the 100-year magazine edition, there's a lot of great historical information about our organization. So I would strongly encourage you all to please check it out. Please purchase the magazine. I think Lamar won it as a raffle prize. But nonetheless, so one thing I did not know about our organization was that Toastmasters has an organ or a group, excuse me, a club that was created from by 15 members, American soldiers who were prisoners of war in Germany. Did you guys know that we had a Toastmasters club and members of that club were prisoners of war in Germany?
No, I did not know that. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Very much so. So this was in 1944 during World War II. And the group is called OFLAG 13B Toastmasters. Again, 15 American prisoners of war were members of this club in Germany. And there was also another club that was created in, let's see, in Vietnam in the 1960s. And these members were also prisoners of war. So I just had no idea. I was just the rich history that we have as an organization. I think it just inspired me to kind of dig more into the history of our organization to learn more about it. And so I just wanted to share that with you all. And also, too, within our district, we do have a club in Marysville that is a prison club. So I'm not sure if you guys were aware of that either, but we do have a club of inmates that are members of the club. So if you're interested in learning more about how to create or what goes into creating a club for individuals who are currently incarcerated, I think it's a great thing, especially for those who are getting ready to um, be released from incarceration and re-entering into society, just learning how to be effective communicators and leaders as they're transitioning back into civilian life, I think is really important. And it's a great opportunity there. So I just wanted to share that quick little tidbit with you all that we did have back in the 40s, we had a club for individuals who were prisoners of war in Germany. So just wanted to share that with you. And I guess I'll go ahead and kick things over to Lamar to share what he's learned.
Yes, well, that's very interesting things that you just shared there, Althea. And I will couple one other thing that Toastmasters was integrated. It was a men-only organization
Mm-hmm.
and then
It was.
integrated with women in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Was the first one women were invited into the club of Toastmasters. So just wanted to just put that out there as well.
Yeah,
So we've come a long way in our
we have.
100-year centennial that we're celebrating, which is a really
Mm-hmm.
great thing to see all of the wonderful changes that has occurred. Also, I got a question for you all. If you don't get it right, I'm going to ask you another one to see if you can pick up
Oh,
on it here.
goodness.
Okay? All right, here we go. Y'all ready?
Nervous.
Okay, here we go. Where's the only place you can find peace, quiet, and a million adventures at the same time?
Life and God.
In your
Okay,
mind?
in your mind. Angela, looks like you're pointing to the mind as well.
That's where I was going. Yeah.
Okay, so you all didn't get it, but let me try this one.
Ah, dang it.
Why did the student break up with their phone?
Why did the student break up with their phone?
That sends a dad joke inbound.
Maybe a grandpa joke.
because because they found a better connection at the library.
Oh,
The
Interesting.
library, folks, the library.
Okay,
That
got it.
is
Got it.
what's a
Got it.
library?
What's that?
one of the most wonderful places that I have found, Angela. I'm glad you asked. Because whatever city that you may be in, if you're in Kentucky, you're in West Virginia, if you're in the state of Ohio, wherever you may be, your local library is just a wonderful resource. And a lot of times I do believe it's really an untapped resource. And
Mhm.
I'm constantly learning things with our local library here in Columbus, you all. Angela, I just found out today that there are laptops. They just installed a system here at the downtown library where you can check out a laptop and utilize it inside of the library.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like a slot machine where you can check in and out the laptops, library use only. Not only that, Sydney, if you want to go and take your wife, family somewhere, there's culture passes that you can get within a local library to go to Franklin Park, which is a really nice park here. You can go to the Columbus Clippers game, a baseball game, and so many other things that you can do. And these passes you get free of charge
Oh, wow.
just from having a membership at the library. I have a business that I've been running out there, and actually, that's why I'm here. I'm at the library now, as you would imagine.
Oh,
And
cool.
earlier, I had a business class that I got help for my business that I'm running on functioning, getting my website up and going. Listen, all of these things are free of charge. I've learned about my genealogy, gotten help there. So just wanted to put that resource out there in the forefront of you all. If you're looking to maybe operate a club, you want to do some, you're looking to still come back into person, definitely consider the library. There's a lot of wonderful technology that's already there present, and you have people that are ready to serve you. You talk about somebody who like to help, like Bessie made mention of. People at the library are waiting to help you as soon as you come through the doors. So that, my friends, is definitely something I learned. Just continue to learn over and over again. And so with that, I'm going to yield and turn things over to Angela. I would love to know, what have you learned, my friend?
Well, I've been just hanging out with some people this month, and kind of a common theme that I've been inspired by is just goals that people are setting for themselves. And so inside of Toastmasters, I think about I'm in a corporate club, right? So I'm thinking about Toastmasters as a tool that I can use to hone my skills for enhancing my career, doing better in front of, high level leadership.
Mhm.
But just in talking to some of my other Toast to Broadway friends, I'm just learning about their goals and how they're using this as steps to get better leadership skills. And then that's just a stepping stone into these really high goals they have outside of their careers and everything. One person wants to do a TED talk. One person wants to take these leadership skills back to their home country and instill in younger people how to be better leaders and hopefully influence actual leadership within their country because it's so bad there. And it was just so inspiring. I started listening to a podcast, and there was just a couple of points that everybody probably knows, but I just thought I'd reiterate because, that's how we keep things in our head. But just for one, you have goals, put them down in writing, and then break it down into very small tasks. So, as an example, this one guy said he, he wanted to do all these hikes and do all these completions of like 33 different hills. And he said he broke it down, he described all these tasks to get there. But then he said, once you get to the top of the mountain or top of the hill, there's no tasks at the top of the hill. You're just finally there. You're at your goal. So that was just kind of powerful. But then also just reiterating to remove distractions. He was setting a goal to learn a new language. So on his phone, he wants to use whatever technology to help him learn a new language. And then he's got these distractions because he wants to listen to music too. So it's like, I could choose to listen to music or I could choose to learn this thing. So just removing those distractions, maybe even setting down your phone and opening a book to try and just achieve those small tasks that you set for yourself to achieve your goal. So I just wanted to reiterate that. I'm sure everybody knows that, but that's part of the reason everybody's in Toastmasters. They're trying to achieve a goal, and this is just a task to get there. So just keep those at the forefront of your mind. And I just thought that was really inspiring. All my cool Toastmasters friends. So what about you, Sydney?
I feel like I could dovetail on so many of your points that you made, especially in the points that Kelly and Betsy made in our earlier segment. But I think that if I had to pick one thing that was inspiring, it's that when you set goals and you met them and you come full circle, it is delicious to meet the goals. The dopamine hit is so big, though it can backfire because it's like when you play your favorite video game or you watch an excellent movie and you see the final resolution happen. You're like, yes, they won. And you're like, oh, the adventure's over.
Yeah,
But the
now
adventure
what?
is always ongoing, Toastmasters. In fact, I'll show you a little something here, but let me pull this up here. But actually, to echo what Lamar said, if you're a member of, oh, it doesn't really show my screen here, but if you're a member of 4 different libraries, I highly recommend the Libby app because you can get a lot of Kindle and audiobooks for free, which is really sweet.
Nice.
You can and if Dade Metro Library doesn't have it, odds are Kenton County or Cincinnati or some other library might have it. So library cards are also free, so feel free to access those resources. And just to give a further plug, when you're going all out, well, to back up, one of my less eloquent life sayings is jump into the deep end of the pool and don't be afraid of that bus. Just go out and play in traffic. Just do something crazy and meet your goal and then set your goal and then meet the goal. And I feel like that was really the reason I joined Toastmasters. Unlike the rest of the room, I was not voluntold to do it. I just kind of knew if I wanted to make the transition to be a data scientist, operations research guy, I would have to learn to speak well and sell myself. And sure enough, it came in clutch. I actually had my boss just the other week or point another coworker of mine to me, and I told him about Toastmasters, and he loved it. So I think he's gonna find it very useful. I know he'll find it very useful because he's a guy who's a lot like me and got sort of took a few years to figure things out in life. But when you find those goals you really want to have, it's fire, it's great, and it is worth meeting it. So whether you're finishing the college degree you've had backlogged, a book you want to read, a skill you want to pick up, or a language, just go for it because it is very satisfying to meet your goals. That was a thing that was in focus for me this past month, I think. And with that, let's see. I will turn over to our next segment, which is called News You Can Use. Althea, take it away.
Thank you, Sydney. Good stuff, you guys. I love the fact that we can use this platform to share with our listeners and viewers these resources, not only specific to Toastmasters, but in life in general. So thank you so much for sharing what you did share this previous segment. All right, we are at the news segment of our episode. This is news that the people can use. District 40, this is what's happening within our district. And to kick things off with the news, let's turn things over to Lamar. What news do you have to share with the folks?
All right, Althea. So the news that I have that you all can use is what was mentioned earlier when Bessie talked about being an audio visual person
Mhm.
for the District 40 Annual Conference
Whoop, whoop,
2025.
whoop, whoop,
Really,
whoop.
really excited about. It's going to be May 2nd through May 4th. And I wanted to just give you all the heads up that if you are desiring to be a speaker like Kelly was at this past District 40 Annual Conference, the
Mhm.
time to apply is now. Actually, at the end of this month is when they're going to stop taking applications for presenters. So I want to turn your attention to go to the Toastmaster District 40 website to learn more about how to sign up to become a speaker for this upcoming conference. I'm going to be there. I'm excited about it. Althea, looks like, are you going to be there? I know we you're going to be there. Sydney,
Yep.
Angela. So
Oh
we're all
yeah.
going to be there, folks. So don't meet us there, beat us there. So I'm really excited about getting a room. Listen, we know the Kentucky Derby is going to be happening at the same time. So
Mhm.
you definitely want to make sure that you get your rooms and get established before the time elapse. So registration is going to open starting November of this year. So definitely be on the
Ooh.
lookout for more information on the upcoming conference. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, I am now going to turn things over to my co host, Sydney, for him to let us know more things about news that we can use. You're on mute, like we never heard that before in this Zoom platform.
You're on mute.
Of course, I try to share my screen, my mute button goes away. Thanks for your patience. So I'll share my screen here as I was trying to say. Gi-
Mm.
Give you a brief preview of another thing that's coming out on the Turnpike. District 40 conference or speech contests. They are coming soon. And if you go to our District 40 website and go to D40 contest 2024 2025, you'll
Mhm.
get some good high level information of all the goings on in the district at the club, area, and division level, and at the district level eventually when we have it, which will also be held at the D40 conference in May. So, all the dates you can want here, including the rule book, which is basically your Bible for the speech contest. Rules, how you want to serve, if you wanted to support the club contest or speech contest at different levels. There's going to be a whole host of information here that these two resources, the website and the book, can give you. And I would definitely recommend talking to any past district governors or past contest chairs, anyone who has served. They will be able to give you the rundown, including some of the folks here on the podcast chat. So if you ever want to find us, feel free to DM us. The long and short, the things you want to keep in mind for now, though, are probably from December to February, you should start having club contests. And even if you just have one representative who wants to participate in table topics or international, which we have this year, just go ahead and send them. Then
Mhm.
we'll have area contests late February to mid March, and mid March to about mid April we'll have the division level contests. Most likely Division A will, for example, will have theirs at the Vandalia Library. Many times we'll have combined area contests.
Mhm.
And the Big Fish, the International Speech Contest, and the Tabletop Conference will be at on May the 2nd and the 3rd, respectively, at the District 40 Conference. So, Kentucky Derby to the moon, speech contests to the moon, you guys being awesome to the moon. It's I expect eloquent performances. I expect you to know this, and I expect you to participate if you indeed want to be a good contestant. Don't be like us and let be voluntold. Jump in the deep end of the pool. So that is all I have to share. District 40 contests. D40 Toastmastersdistricts.org and click on the contest tab. That's all I got to share.
Sydney, isn't being voluntold the Toastmaster way?
Eh.
like a rites of passage, man.
Oh, well, Angela, do you have any news we can anything we
Yeah.
could use?
It's more like mom guilt, like than voluntold, you know. But actually, I was kind of gonna piggyback on the signing up for the speakers thing. Also, you know, if think about just being a sponsor for the conference as well. I know all it took for me was just sending an email to somebody to get my company to want to, you know, be involved, get their name out there and send money for a good cause. So, you know, it doesn't, all they can do is say no. So, or it doesn't happen, but everybody knows here we believe in what we're doing and it's for a good cause. So just think about getting together and getting your club to sponsor the conferences as well. Now, also, I just think that I've never seen a table topics speech contest. So I can imagine me personally, I'm not that eloquent when it comes to table topics. So just practice, practice, practice until we get there. So that's my news that you can use.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I love that we are just really, really championing, can't say the word, the district conference this year. Really excited. And we're going to probably have some folks from the conference committee on our podcast to talk more about the conference. So stay tuned for that episode. It's coming up soon. But the news that I would like to share with you all is, guess what? We're getting back into training season. That's right, Toastmasters leaders. Training is important. Information, education is key. And our District Education and Training Committee will be hosting a series of Toastmaster Leadership Institute trainings as well as the club officer trainings. We're going to kick things off in Columbus on Saturday, November 9th at the Powell United Methodist Church. The training will be held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And all of the registration information is live on the District 40 website. And the website is d40.toastmastersdistricts.org. The next one will be in the Cincinnati area. That's going to be on Saturday, November 16th from 9 to 3 at the Spring Hill Church of Christ. Then there'll be a virtual option December 7th from 9 to 3 p.m. Let's see what else we have here. Also, for the Dayton area, there's going to be a virtual TLI hosted on January 11th. I can't believe we're already looking into January, but January 11th, 2025 from 9 to 3 p.m. And for the Kentucky Bluegrass area, there's going to be a club officer training offered on Saturday, January 25th, 2025 from 9 to 3 p.m. And the training will be held at the Grant County Public Library. And then there's going to be a couple other trainings. There's another virtual TLI in February. There's actually going to be a TLI and a COT in February. So for those of you that were not able to attend any of the previous training sessions offered this summer, you will have an opportunity starting in November to help your club earn their DCP credit, as well as learn more about your role and other roles within our district and network with other district leaders. So for those of you that are interested in attending any of the upcoming trainings, please visit our District 40 website. Again, d40.toastmastersdistricts.org. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn things over to Angela to cover our last segment.
Thank you. I feel like I got a treat for you guys.
Ooh.
So I'm excited. I'm a huge comedy fan for one. And we're all in this to build our confidence. At the end of the day, whoever has joined Toastmasters has at least that goal in common, I feel like. So I feel like this guy personifies both of those things. We're going to go ahead and get our evaluation portion started with how do you get your sexy back? We'll see. We'll figure it out.
Sexy back. How to get your sexy back. Ryan Barnes.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and all you sexy people. Have you noticed a decrease in your desire for intimacy? Have more than one or two people come up to you and said, "You look so hot. What happened?" Do you sometimes look in the mirror and look up and down and just roll your eyes? If this is happening to you, you have lost your sexy. But I've got great news for you. For over the past 25 years, I had developed an organization called the TSI, Total Sexy Institute. And based upon 1,000 hours of scientific research, 100% natural and no money-back guarantee, we've developed something that's so powerful that it changed the lives of Fossil, the Fawns, and men who excessively date. What am I talking about? The TSM, Total Sexy Makeover. The Total Sexy Makeover is available today. It's an 8-week course. And it's composed of 3 parts. We call it the trifecta. The first part is the sexy look. Next, it's the sexy walk. And last, it is sexy moves. John, pay attention, you could use this. First, let's talk about the sexy look. I have studied the masters on what they wear, from Don Johnson, Miami Vice, Burt Reynolds, and Mitch McInnes. Our division governor. And I have found that the sexiest look is wearing all white and black. And also, from the Ashantis to the Mayans, it's all about the gold. Pow. Pow. Usually this thing comes off. And also part of the sexy look is the secret weapon. Hair extensions. Available for men and women. Okay. When I start talking about sexy, I just can't get it together. Next, I discovered the second part of the trifecta is the sexy walk. Now, going back in history, in the 1940s, when men walked, it was being very gentlemanly, like this. In the 1990s and early 2000s, it was the go-go time. People walked fast. But in 2011, I put together something based upon an ex-girlfriend of mine, Jennifer Lopez. When you're walking, it's all about the hip movement. Take note. You see, the hips will mesmerize people. Slow motion. Now, I know what you're saying. Brian, I'm getting a little bit older. Willa Sue. And I've got hip replacements, knee surgery, calcium buildup. So you can do a more modified version. Just make sure you move these hips. The last part of the trifecta is the the sexy moves. That's based upon somebody I studied extensively, John Travolta. I dated him also. But what you do is that when you're having a conversation with someone, you begin to do your moves. John, he's timing. Sir, what is your name?
Marco.
Marco. Have you been a Toastmasters very long? Do you like Toastmasters, Marco? You can use the dance moves at the gym, at the grocery store, but I always recommend doing this at work. Brian, you just cost the company $75,000. I did? Oh, forget about it. So I showed you a little bit of the sexy trifecta TSM Total Sexy Makeover. And I know some of you are sitting here and it's a little complicated. It's a lot to get together. So that's why I put together a special package and offer today, just for you. Now the course would normally retail for $24,500. But for you, Paul, it's only 6 easy payments of $19.95. If you register today, you also will receive the Total Sexy Makeover Manual. 500 pages, and these are gold-plated, by the way, that will help you out. But there's more. You get a pen with the Total TSI. We make sexy back pen of luck right here. And of course, the DVD, which will share how a gentleman in Toastmasters overcame excessive dating and how the Total Sexy Makeover saved his life. And last but not least, the first 10 callers will get these pens. Makeover. Remember, it's all about the look, the walk, and the moves. If you do that, you'll get your sexy back. Mr. Contest Chair.
Oh my gosh. That is hilarious. That was a contest speech. I love.
Yeah, now you know. Like,
wow. Oh my
Althea,
gosh.
what do you think about Brian?
I think Brian's hilarious. Wow. So I was not expecting any of that. I love his stage presence. I love how he was able to infuse humor into his speech. The use of props. He kept the audience engaged. He included the audience in his speech. I thought it was phenomenal. At first, a bit distracting because for me, I just didn't know what to expect. And I didn't know where this speech was going because his first sentence was like, do you have any issues in the area of intimacy? I'm like, wait, where are you going with this? But I'm happy to know that he kind of kept it where it needed to stay. But it was overall, I thought it was great. It was I think, was it a humorous speech? Is that what the contest was? I'm assuming.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's what I Googled.
Yeah. So I think it was a humorous speech, and I think he did a stellar job. I think I don't know that eloquent would be a good word to use to describe the speech. It was definitely entertaining. That's the E word I want to use, entertaining. Lamar, what did you think of his speech?
Entertaining indeed. I've never seen any speech like this before. And it was definitely, I love, like you said, the props were hilarious. The
Yep.
attention to detail, the amount of detail that he went through to prepare for this speech. He was able to stay on track with his points that he made, with the look, the walk, and the moves. He was able to stay on track with those 3 points that he wanted to make, and even engaging the audience. Marco, getting him involved, I thought was pretty funny as well. And like you said too out there, I always think a great joke is one that you don't expect.
Mm-hmm.
When he started out with about intimacy, and you just didn't know where he was going, and then for him to go the direction that he did go in, I thought it was humorous in how he went about doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the thing that I would have liked to see is a little bit more. I know it's hilarious. I know it's a humorous speech. If it was a little bit more content
Mm-hmm.
about the look, like if there was a little bit more of substance, if you will, in terms of what about the look? Is it more just the look of looking, or what about the moves, or what
Mm-hmm.
about the the other point? But that's just me. That's just my personality. So, but I understand if it's he's going completely for a humorous, I
Yeah.
get that, and at the same time, I do believe that there could have been a little bit more content for the a little bit I think he still could have been funny with the content with those 3 points as well. So those would be my thoughts. What about for you, Sydney?
Hmm. Definitely vibe with Althea's assessment. His use of props was well timed, and
Mm-hmm.
personally, I'm a huge fan of props because it kind of reminds me of a time I went to what we call a Reformation party, which is kind of like a Halloween party, but more of a Christian version. Where I dressed up as what I called a holy relics hawker. It was kind of a it was more or less a joke based off the old Roman Catholic tradition of indulgences, where we have all kinds of random objects as vehicles for worship, and not going to comment on that because honestly, if they help you get closer to God, great. But for my character, I chose to get any random object around my house I could put, and I put in this large overcoat, and I just pulled out and tried to I basically harassed the people at the party and said, "Hey, you want to buy this? This will bring you closer to the Lord." And I had all kinds of props, but so I like obnoxious. I kind of like characters that are obnoxious, and I felt like I was almost watching an episode of Johnny Bravo from the Cartoon Network I
Mm-hmm.
saw when I was a kid. For those of you who are in the who are 90s kids, you kind of know who that character is, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like that show to be honest. But as far as his use of props and his use of humor, even just little things like the pacing and the right amount of cringe to draw the audience in at the very beginning, that was
Uh,
pretty well done. But I'm like Althea said, I'm glad he throttled back just a little bit. So I can see why Lamar would want to think content is a thing, but I think that for some speeches, it's kind of like
mm-hmm.
the point is just to make your audience laugh. The point is not to have content. It's more just to, if I may, pick on your audience and gaslight them a little bit and make them think about more things. But if they get just the right amount of cringe and laugh a little, then you're probably doing your job as a humorous speaker, I think. What about you, Angela?
Yeah, I could go either way on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was all punchline, punchline, punchline. But there were the shock factor, not only like at the beginning with the intimacy thing, but at the end when he starts taking off his pants. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my,
Yeah.
I almost like stopped watching it about half a minute before that. And I was glad I got to the end. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do the speech. But then it was just like something funny,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, total. I like the shock factor aspect of it. His Yeah, I think the pace was great. I also think when he couldn't get his jacket off, that was cool the way
Mm-hmm.
he handled that. Just
Improvise. Yeah.
yeah, I had wrote a note down Kelly earlier when the song started playing in the background or something. She went with it, like she kind of leaned in, and so did
Mm-hmm.
he. And I thought, man, that's so great. I would love to be that comfortable to just do that. So I thought that was admirable.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I just thought it was hilarious. You didn't know where it was going sometimes. And yeah, I mean, we'll try it out. We'll try the moves, see what happens.
I wrote it down. He said the look, the walk, and the moves.
There you go.
So the next time you're at work and your manager, hopefully it's not reprimanding you, but is coaching you on something that an area you can do something better in, maybe you should add a little 1-2 step, a little shoulder shake or something to kind of add some razzle dazzle to the coaching session. That was awesome. Angela, thank you for sharing that. That I need that laugh. So that was really good. I really enjoyed the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Well, friends, we are at the end of our episode. Lamar, Sydney, Angela, thank you guys so much for a great episode. Shout out to Kelly and Betsy for being gracious guests this evening. Like I said, we wish you guys the best of luck in your respective divisions. And with that, Toastmasters and friends. Oh, I almost forgot. So typically we record on the fourth Tuesday of each month. But for November and December, because we have some major holidays that fall in the fourth week of each of those months, we're going to move up our recording 1 week ahead. So November, we'll be recording on the third Tuesday, as well as December, the third Tuesday. So please come back and see us then. Until then, you all have a great evening, and we'll see you next month. Peace out.